Okay, so hi everybody. Welcome back to another setup session here at Coach Dave Academy. We're back at Watkins Glen, this time around in ACC. We're super excited to start working on the new American track pack. And what better combination to start with than a good solid car, the Mclaren 720S at Watkins Glen. My name is Sai. Today in the fast lane in the car is Jakob, and we've got Mike, who's taking care of all these amazing camera angles on your screen. So on that note, Jakob, shall we just jump straight into it?
Yeah, let's get started.
Cool. So let's do a few laps with the baseline and see what it can do.
The understeer through chicane.
It takes quite a while to, I think, heat up the tires, especially around here. Generally, how is this felt on the curbs on the other tracks?
In the curbs it was fine. It's just it was understeery when you needed the rotation.
Yeah, so if traction issues are not really a big deal around here, we can definitely stiffen up the rear end of the car.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just understeer through the fast corners. That's basically the
All right.
main problem.
Okay. Just, so yeah, we'll first try it now with the Kailami baseline. Say so yeah, fuel. I think anyways you have to push it up to 102.
Yeah,
Sorry, 109.
109, yeah.
Rear wheel rate. Maybe if we go up to maybe 2 clicks, see what that does,
Yeah.
or maybe just 1 click actually. Um, so it would just be one up from the base. And I'm just thinking, do you have any issues in slow speed right now?
Not really, no.
Okay, so then it's worth just raising the rear ride height as well, 2 clicks, see what the combination does. I'm just thinking for a track like Watkins, we need obviously a stiff. We'll try to run a really stiff car in terms of the springs, but maybe not on the orbs because, like, if you have a really stiff car and you go over an off cambered corner, it'll really throw the car off. So, like, if you're happy with the roll, I would say let's not really change it too much right now.
Yeah, how it feels right now, it's fine, but let's see with the changes.
Yep.
Definitely affected the car to be better, but I will give it another lap. still more on the understeer side than on the rotation side, so we can maybe get even more rotation in the car.
Yeah, I can also see a little bit of instability in the slow speed.
Yeah, maybe a bit on like the last second before I go on throttle again.
Yeah. Just give me 1 second. Okay, let's just see what we can do.
Also, when looking on the dampers, we can do some changes on that, so I can show you the damper histogram.
Yeah, yeah, just share that. I'll check that. Um, okay. Yeah, definitely need some rear bump. Yeah, it's rear bump is soft. One of the reasons for the understeer. Um, Fronts actually don't look too bad. So I would say we go up on the rear bump. What's that? 3%. I would say let's go 2 clicks for now.
Yeah.
Um, but that's not going to be enough for the understeer. I suspect we need to let's go 2 clicks up on the rear spring
Okay.
and also drop the diff maybe just so that it doesn't give too many traction issues. Diff maybe 2 clicks down.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see if that works.
Yeah, that's definitely better now.
The car is definitely not liking the wherever the camber seems to drop outwards. Doesn't really like it. Yeah, like there also. At least it looks like that. But yeah, definitely looks a lot faster overall. I suspect you still have some understeer, right?
Yeah, maybe a bit more right-hand on the rear.
Yeah, I was thinking it's worth maybe dropping the front arb one click.
Yeah, we can do that as well. So 1 click less arb on front, and let's say 1 click more rear right-hand.
Yeah, that should work. Thinking maybe a way to harness a bit more speed from the car uh, is anyways, if you're not having issues with the curbs, it's worth just increasing the bump stop range in the front and then again dropping the rear ride height. So more or less maintain the same pitch, but just run the car closer to the ground.
Yeah, we can try that after that as well.
Yeah, because our front ride height is quite low already, which is and it's still not bottoming out, which is good.
So weird on how all the cars behave through the chicane.
In what way?
Like how they are jumping.
Yeah,
Especially in the last curb, if you get a bit too far over there, you're just going straight.
yeah, the exit curve for the bus stop is always kind of aggressive. I think irrespective of the sim. Uh, Something I've noticed is the curbs, particularly in Watkins, seem a little intense. But maybe that's just a feeling I'm getting. What is your opinion on the actual curbs on this track? Did you feel any difference with the softer front arm through the bus stop?
Yeah, let me give me another lap. The first lap was shit, so I don't have a reference now. I don't know if it's just a line now through the chicane, but it feels a bit trickier through the chicane.
Okay. Try it next lap as well, just after the chicane, and then just park it after the chicane. As I just want to see what my thought process is right now, without looking at data, is that we're already so low on the front. So maybe the stiffer arm which we had was preventing the car from actually bottoming out. Now that we have a softer front arm, I think it's like rolling a bit too much and just about scraping the ground. Uh, let's just see it once again, then we'll know for sure.
It's like jumping more now.
Yeah, it's hitting. I don't think it's really hitting the. It might be hitting the curb, but it's definitely hitting the bump stop and rocketing back up.
Yeah.
And then the rear is too stiff for the front, and it kicks out. Um, how did it
Should I
feel
send
on
you the
the?
data or?
Uh, no, if you have it open on Motex, just share
Okay.
the screen. I'll double
Yeah.
check it. Then. Okay. Yeah, dampers are better for
That
sure.
looks better now.
100% better.
Then you probably want to see that, I guess.
Yeah. Can you show the brake temps? What are they at right now? Uh, yeah, not bad. We could actually. Could you send over this data? I'll check some other stuff
Yeah.
while you just test some a new setup. I'm thinking of.
We should definitely go up with the AirB in front again.
Yep. Yep. How did it feel on the off-cambered corners? The long right-hand
Yeah, it
booster
didn't
versus
feel a big difference there.
no big difference. Okay. So right height super lower shouldn't really affect. Yeah, let's go back on the ARB then.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the data.
Thanks. Okay, so back up on the ARB. I would suggest also maybe go up on the front. I think the front rebound was too soft. So go 2 clicks up on the front rebound. Just one click. My bad. One click.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, um, yeah. Just try that again with the rebound with the original. Just want to see how it behaves. Yeah. By the way, your right front pressure is quite low, so you'd want to just go up 2 clicks when you go next time.
Maybe also the extra click of right on the rear was too much.
Do you reckon that's what's causing your
Yeah, maybe, because it still doesn't feel much better. But I will give it another lap. Oh my god. And it starts on Watkins Glen now as well with the random bumps on the track. When you hit them, you go straight. Like a Rouge, Spa, or what Baldwin happened at Bathurst.
saying it's just a general issue with it's just the behavior of the car?
Yeah, that's not really a Mclaren problem, that's a general ACC problem, I would call it. Yeah, but it's definitely not the right hit, because I had a 0.2 now in it. It's just the line you need to hit through the chicane. So yeah, it was probably the ARB which caused problems through the chicane.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah, I mean, car looks pretty good. Um, how does it feel generally?
Yeah, it feels like a McLaren. Like McLaren is pretty much a testing thing. It's
Yeah.
like you don't feel much in it from what you need to change. So
Yep.
mm.
Okay, in that case, I think we can just experiment a few more things. Can I just quickly check the Motec and then
Oh yeah, sure. I will upload it.
go?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, thanks. Just quickly download it. I mean, we definitely have it in the right window. So now we just need to tweak a few smaller aspects of suspension and we should be good to go.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, let's look at tires first. Tire temps quite hot on the left side.
That was probably
I mean,
because I lost the car a bit there on the last corner I did.
yeah, and there are a lot of long right-handers, so it makes sense. Generally, it just heats up. Um, I wanted to actually close up the rear brake ducts, but I don't think we should because it's just going to heat up the rear left tire. So I would keep that. Looking at tire pressures, I would think I should drop the left side pressures one click each,
Yeah,
because the highest you're hitting is almost at 28, and then the rear, sorry, the right front tire, you can go up one click.
yeah,
Cool, and then dampers. Let's see, dampers, front bump. uh, Okay, front bump on the dampers, go up one click.
yeah.
Rear bump, go down one click. Okay, so that takes care of all of that. Now we need to try to see what else we can do to get more performance. If anything, what else are you feeling a lack of? Which corners are you particularly having issues with?
Yeah, it's like you said, the off-cambered corners, the car is tricky to handle, but you won't be able to get that out of the car because, yeah,
Just the
a
way the
corner
mechanism.
thing, another car thing.
Uh, okay, we can try one thing. If we go down on the front and rear spring, now that we
One
know that
click.
the arb, yeah, just one click. Now that we know that the arb is, the car is really sensitive to arb changes. If we go down on just the springs, one click on the front and rear, let's see if that this helps the car overall the cambered sections.
Yeah,
I suspect it won't because it'll throw off the arrow, but it's worth checking.
It definitely feels like it has more grip now.
Okay, with the softer spring position. Grip. I mean, mechanically, yes, it'll have grip, but how about the aero? Do you not feel it's off balance now?
No, it's not feeling off balance.
Perfect. Yeah, I think it's worth maybe trying even softer sprints than just go even lower. So it's not affecting aero, at least it's gonna just press the car down more and gain you a bit of speed on the straights.
EC2 helps a bit with traction in off-cambered corners, but it also slows the car down, so I don't know if it's worth it. Probably for race, yes, but for race I don't think so.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's definitely going to be easier on the tires, so that's one positive from it. Uh, if you like the traction right now, maybe we go back up on the front spring just so you get the response.
We
And
already went up on the front spring.
no, we
Oh,
stopped both, right?
yeah, we are on the value we used at the beginning again.
Okay, okay, we're back to that. All right. Sorry, I got confused with the setup I had open.
Yeah, so let's probably try and lower the
Okay,
wheel
you're
rate.
saying, yeah, so you want to go softer, correct? Okay. Um, all right. Let me send you one sec. Yeah, try that combination for front and rear. That's sent.
Yeah. So one click down again.
Yeah, again, one click down. Yep,
I also uploaded emotics. I can have a look.
sure. Could you also just send over this setup if possible? So I'll
Yeah.
the new pressures and everything.
What's Watkins Glen, the 3 letters? You know that?
I think it's WGL. I'll double check. I mean, you can name it anything for now.
Yeah. And it's RO1.
Yep. Okay. Histograms again look kind of interesting. So I think for a track that has this many changes in its in the surface angle, the camber, um, it's maybe not the best idea to run like really negative toe. I think we should try slightly more neutral just to see what it does.
In front or rear? Or
Both
both?
ends actually. Yeah, both.
Okay.
How does it affect it on other tracks? Because if you have tracks that have other sort of off-cambered sections, uh, example something like the hairpin at Spa, the Brussels hairpin at Spa, the downhill, that's kind of off-cambered. In such situations, have you had any experience with how the toe affects the car?
It's basically you just need to be calm on steering, then it's fine. So that's how it was on Spa.
Okay. Kind of similar to this current corner you're at, right?
Yeah.
Much slower, obviously, but
Yeah, it's starting to get quick now.
Just a little surprised to see the balance is not changing much. I mean, the aero balance is not changing much with these spring changes,
Yeah, that's the McLaren.
or it's a sign the car is overdone. If the McLaren does have a good platform to begin with, very, very good in the high-speed corners, right? In most trucks.
Yeah.
I think before we change the springs anymore, we should try the toe change.
Yeah, so you just send me which values you want to try.
Yeah, let me see.
Yeah.
Negative. Yeah. Yeah, so those values, and I think, yeah, max camber anyways is fine.
Yeah, I mean, so you want positive toe on the rear.
No, no, negative. Both are negative. That is it.
Yeah, that's not possible on the rear.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, my bad. Yeah, yeah, half of what we have now. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't realize how small the limit is on the rear for this car. I think even the BMW is a zero, right? On the
Yeah, you can't even use negative toe on the rear at the for the, for the BMW.
I was hoping for maybe a bit more adjustability on the rear toe because that would definitely solve the off camber. Not solve it. It would definitely help with the off camber issue, but the range is so small right now. And I think low diff is anyways needed for the slow speed. So,
Not really. You can also run higher diff in the McLaren.
yeah. Doesn't it get tail happy when you go a bit too high on it?
Not really.
Interesting, interesting the way it handles. Then, if that's the case, I would expect mid and rear engine to really be sensitive on that front. In that regard,
A McLaren can be a really strange car to set up.
fun to drive though.
Yeah, it is.
Another thing that's really good is the McLaren's strong points are flat, high-speed tracks, right? Like Silverstone and even Spa. For what it's worth, the corners, the high-speed corners, are more or less flat, apart from Eau Rouge. So it's actually interesting to see it so planted over here.
Yeah, but when comparing it to the Porsche, you're losing much in the middle sector. Like in the
So here.
not compared to like when I drove the Porsche here, I was like 5 kph faster in the corner than with the McLaren now.
Okay, okay, then it makes sense. So stability wise, it's there, but the pace is not there. That's expected. It's a very hilly track.
Yeah, it's definitely better now in off-cambered corners.
Yeah, it's worth going even more neutral than just
Wouldn't say
see
that we
how.
need a bit of negative toe.
Okay, maybe just 2 clicks then. Unless, of course, if you're feeling you're not getting enough rotation in other places, then we won't touch it. But if you think we can afford to go a bit more neutral, then we'll definitely test that.
I think it's already fine because it's really stable now in off-cambered corners compared to before.
Okay, perfect. So let's not touch it more then. Cool. So I think that is solved. Bump stops. It's riding the front bump stops for most of the track, but it's understandable. It's the way the McLaren works. Works well with that sort of range. If you want, we could reduce the rear range a little bit if you feel understeer might start kicking in into the stint.
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah, don't think there's anything else we haven't changed or experimented with. So it's probably the last thing we'll need to touch.
And
Fast
then
angling
let's try
won't
that.
change because the graphs don't look too bad right now. The histogram. Let's quickly see the Motec. You can share your screens just faster that way.
Oh, rear
Uh,
looks shit again.
Interesting. Okay. Uh, the last one. So I think we went
We
down
went
on the
one
rear
click
bump.
down with the
Yeah,
bump on the rear,
yeah,
so let's go
yeah.
that up again.
Go back up 1 click. Uh, Front, the shape is a little off, but only for the front right. The numbers are more or less good. So actually, I wouldn't touch it because
Yeah,
it's gonna affect the way the front handles. 1 click up on the rear bump, and let's reduce the rear bump stop range a little bit.
but probably also reduce the rear wheel rate by a click. I would leave the front how it is, but reduce the rear by a click maybe.
Okay, you want even more traction?
Yeah,
Yeah, sure. It's gonna give you a bit of pitch, some pitch issues, and it's gonna give you understeer on high speed. So let's put the rear bump stop range to half of what it is right now.
yeah. And maybe we can try and with one click more rake on the rear then.
Uh,
Or you wouldn't touch that.
I wouldn't actually change that now,
Yeah, okay, then let's try it like that.
because again, that's gonna affect your off-camera sections.
Yeah, true.
By the way, the setup you sent me didn't have maximum fuel. Just want to double check what you're carrying.
I'm running with 109 liters, so maybe the setup was just wrong.
Yeah, you got saved. It was 95 on this.
I mean, the setup you sent me at the beginning had just 2 liters, so maybe that's just something in ACC.
I mean, it's a new track, so maybe it's not.
Yeah, whatever.
I mean, I don't know. I have yeah, it was 2 liters when I opened it to the baseline that we started with. I mean, I believe they changed the fuel load on multiple tracks with the new the patch. Obviously, it's a new track, so it won't be compatible.
Yeah, it's pretty much perfect now.
Point 0.8 is optimal, right?
Probably, yeah. About that.
Guys, feel free to continue the round then.
Let's probably take lap 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Cool. Just, yeah, it's just about the lines, right? It's
Yeah,
really
it's
sensitive to the
most
track.
of the time is probably through the chicane, and chicane is pretty much random if the car bounces correct or not.
It's more about, yeah. Again, it's just, it's not, it's you're not feeling like it's the car that's limiting you, right? Because if you are, then we can still tweak that.
I probably a 43.8, like I said, is doable.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
do you
hit
want to make it a
in
bit
that one lap,
safer or
I hit
something?
the wall in the last corner, so that gave me a bit of damage. So I
Yeah,
got more understeer. So a 43.8 should be doable.
yeah. But do you want to make the chicane even more safe, or you think it's just
I mean, the
really
chicane is
extreme
safe
corners?
enough, but if you want to go really quick through it, it's like 50-50, like Imola.
Okay, it's like that. I mean, giving more bump stop range should help.
Yeah, but then the car slides more as well.
Yeah, but
I
again,
tested that
we've
actually the
seen
other
some.
day, and it wasn't really worth it.
Okay, okay. In that case, then it's fine, because we see that the car is actually not as aero sensitive as we expected
No,
with the pitch. So it's worth a shot, but it really depends on what you're feeling right now.
it's like you really need to hit the first curb hard, so you can go a bit more easy on the second curb, and then just go full over the third and fourth curb as well. That's basically how you need to drive the chicane.
Yeah,
Then the car is good. You're good to go.
yeah. Because of maximum bump stop actuation, we don't really know whether the car is hitting the curb or the bump stop. We can check it in the data, but I mean, if you're happy with the way it feels now, we can still save this because the
Yeah,
car looks really, really good right now. As a race
yeah,
setup, it definitely looks up there. Yeah,
I will send you this run.
cool.
And then let's go on with quali.
Cool.
Hmm. Now there's the question: would you change the aero balance in quali?
Um, I definitely would for quali because you have a lot of fuel out of the car, so it
And then
definitely
let's
optimizes
use
when you
like two
ride.
clicks more rig. So
Go with 2 clicks. If it's too much, we can go back to
yeah,
one. Yep. If you want a bit more aggressive toe, but only on the front, I wouldn't change the rear.
yeah. Then
So
let's
maybe
go like five
five
clicks on
clicks.
front.
Yeah.
I think Martone in front is too much. I think we should leave it.
Okay. Yeah. Feeling the front saturating, then yeah. How about that rear ride height? Was the slow speed?
Yeah. It's like I have enough rotations and it's not oversteer, so right height is fine. I would probably go even more up.
At the entry to the corners?
Yeah, it's also fine. I went down a bit with brake bias because I usually do that for quali. And it's okay.
Yeah, then we can go up on the ride height. It's a little snappy over there. So just
Yeah, it's
braking.
just under braking you can't turn that much with the Mclaren. So that's what was the problem now. So we'll go down with toe again to the race value and one click more rake.
Yep. If you really want to make the braking more stable, then instead of the ride height, I would suggest going up on the wheel rate on the rear,
Yeah,
just so it
but
doesn't
the
pitch.
wheel rate wasn't that good when we tested it in race cars. It
Yeah,
was worse in the off-cambered corners.
I was a different fuel level though. But I'm okay. We'll try the ride height first if you're comfortable with that.
And
Stick with that.
what you said, we can drop the rear brake duct by a click. Because now you just need
Uh,
the rear left tire for one lap and not for a race stand.
I mean, already with higher I mean, with the brake pad one, it could be overheating. You need to just check the
Yeah,
the air temp channel. Yeah.
yeah, let's try it for a run and then we can see.
Try it for run. Yeah.
But I mean, if it's overheating for
Yeah.
for just a lap, it's not that bad.
If it's a lap, it's fine. It
Yeah,
shouldn't hit something like 105 or 106. Then you'll just be losing performance even in that one corner. Maybe that value is also fine. It really depends on which corner. Because in race, sometimes the tires hit like 102 or something in the front on some tracks, and then it stays there for many laps.
But it looks like that the quali race delta on Watkins Glen isn't that big.
Yeah.
I mean, the lap wasn't good, so a 0.0 is probably in it.
It's car specific to the Delta. The main places you can gain and where you actually are gaining is obviously the straights, the long right hander after the chicane, and maybe like a tenth or so in the last sector. But yeah, nowhere else. Definitely looks very slippery, but also seems to not have enough rotation on high speed. Like maybe just about enough rotation. Think a point 42 is possible, or it's very very.
42 is hard, but I would say 0.0. It's too much.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, 0.0 is definitely doable. Probably with a perfect lap at 0.9. So let's change the pressures on how I need them.
Are you struggling with understeer at the exit of corners, like in the last 30% of it, of the corners, high speed?
No, I wouldn't say that. No, not really.
Because it looks a bit snappy on some of the entries, almost like it's like the diff is too low.
I mean, we can try and go a click up with diff.
Yeah, but again, then they'll give you traction problems. So really, is a I don't know, because the car just like uh, how does it feel like as to drive? Is it
The drive, it's easy
intimidating?
handleable because McLaren, when it oversteers, you just turn a bit on the other side and it's fine.
Yeah, but then the oversteer is also like if it's not there, it could probably gain a little bit of lap time. I think.
Yeah, but I would say it's fine like how it drives right now.
Uh, if it's comfortable to use, then we'll keep it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say for me it's comfortable to use. So, and I mean it's also a quali setup, so it can be a bit tricky to drive.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
Probably for race it would be too much, but for quali it's fine, I would say.
Maybe a click of TC or something, just to.
Traction control costs so much in the McLaren.
Does it?
TC2 is like most of the times not worth it, just when you get craning on the rear.
Yeah, but then training is not an issue for quali.
Yeah, that's what I said. So TC2 on quali isn't worth it.
As in, it just kicks in too aggressively, correct? That's going to be an interesting corner in races.
I mean, I wanted to try and go in with fifth gear like I do in the Porsche, but fourth is better in McLaren. Like in a Porsche, you can just use way more entry speed and still be quick on the exit, but in the McLaren, you just can't do that.
Yeah, depends on how much torque output you have in that gear. Realistically, also on the diff, but maybe not so much in the sim.
Oh, the grass on the engine didn't help. But it's pretty easy to be consistent on the quali laps, so I think if you can do a lap time, like let's say 40 to 9, you can always do it.
That's good to hear.
It's too much. That was too much carb on the entry.
Yeah. Uh, if you still want to take that much curb, maybe you can go up on the front ride height one click. That'll solve that. I don't think the bump stops are going to help there.
What did you say? A click on?
Click up on the front ride height, 50.
Oh, that changes like much. That's like a percent of aero balance.
Yeah, we could try it with the bump stops, but I don't think it's going to work because we're already running it super soft right now. So it's anyways bottoming out. Um,
Yeah, I would say just leave it, cause it's
Leave it.
possible. But it was just like too much now.
Okay, right.
I think it's not even worth it taking that much curb on the entry there.
Oh, because if you even manage to get the front over, then your car is just gonna plank on the curb, and then you'll oversteer anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, naturally, the front engine cars are just gonna run over that easily.
Yeah.
Even
Imagine BMW or Bentley.
if you're chasing one of those cars, yeah, and if they're in front with clean air, it's gonna be really tough. You're gonna have to catch them on all the other sections. But if they're behind you, then you just need a block, right?
Yeah, with the Porsche, it's gonna be horrible because in middle sector and in last sector, you're gaining with the Porsche like 2 to 3 tenths. If not even more. Like in the last sector with the Porsche, you can do 39s, and in the McLaren, that's not possible.
But the Porsche is probably gonna struggle even more on that curve. So if you
Oh, that's a funny thing. Porsche is way easier to drive over the curb. I can show you a video over the curb after the session.
I think the strategy is to then just quali in front and run away, or rather defend.
Yeah, defending with the Porsche on the straight is not easy.
No, I'm saying with the McLaren.
Oh yeah.
If you can catch cars up ahead, then
No, that was too much braking in there again. Yeah, the time is definitely in there.
I mean, the fact that you went really fast and it's understeering means that the front is too stiff on the car right now relative to the rear. But I think we have to keep it that way from what we tested in the race with the odds.
No.
If anything, we just could maybe stiffen the rear a little bit if you need it. Just give another lap.
Like, still a bit understeery.
Yeah, click of
You're
rear
like in
spring.
the last sector, you're losing a lot because of that. I think.
One click of rear spring will help everywhere.
Yeah, let's try
It's
that.
even with the aggressive rear brake bias, this will at least prevent the pitching from locking the rears too quickly.
Yeah.
Because now the rear won't lift as quickly when you brake. The only place it's going to cost you maybe a few hundreds is down the straight, but I think it's negligible.
I mean, if it's better through everywhere else, I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Definitely a track with a bit of compromise required. Brake cracking.
Yeah. Will gain me a second like an iRacing.
I believe that's fixed.
Is it?
That effect, yeah, doesn't have that much of that sort of an effect anymore.
I would also say that it's worse through chicane now.
Okay. The exits out of these corners seem a little better though. So.
But I'm losing like a 10 for chicane, so I don't know if it's worth it.
Yeah. Looking for the chicane, we can fix it with the dampers and bump stop rate. But if you're not comfortable with the car anywhere else, then we can just revert.
Yeah, everywhere else I don't feel a big difference.
Okay, then we can try one click up on the rear arm instead of the spring.
I mean, I will try some more laps, but I don't think that it's worth it. You need to take more entry curb with harder rear. There I hit that bump again.
So everywhere that there's a bump, it seems to be unsettling it more now. That's what I love about this track. It's just so these tiny details that just make it an interesting challenge. So understand what the car is doing basically.
I think it can, like the harder rear can improve the car.
I think before going down that that path of fixing this rear, maybe the more simple solution is just to stiffen the rear arm instead, because that's gonna give you more. It's gonna give you a better balance mid corner. Did you feel the stiffer rear spring help you with the braking zones, the downhill braking?
Yeah, it was definitely better braking for that downhill left-hander.
Okay. Then maybe this is the way.
I mean, the exit of chicane was bad.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe let's try the other thing as well. So click more ARB on the rear and go down with wheel rate again.
Okay. Yeah. Go for that. Because yeah, then if that takes the curbs easily, the only issue with that setup would be maybe the downhill braking zone.
Yeah, but it's handleable without the harder rear, so like it was handleable before as well, so it should be handleable now as well.
I mean, a quali setup, if it's aggressive and if there's like one place in the track where you have to be really on the limit to make it work, that's fine. But if we can make that place not the chicane, then it's ideal. It's a good sign if it's understeering that much on outlap, on the outlap. Also expect a little bit of a traction problem on the off-cambered corners, particularly the left-hander in sector 3.
To be honest, I still think that the car handled the best without any changes.
Okay. Yep. Now we can just go back to the original. Then I'm surprised the car's still understeering. In fact, it looks worse right now with the stiffer rear arm. One good thing is it didn't unsettle the car on the curbs.
Turn 1 would have been perfect if I wouldn't have gotten that slight oversteer. Too much again.
The point two was a good lap. I mean, the looks like after the tires get up to temps, the car
Yeah,
actually.
it's like the third lap is definitely quicker than the laps before.
Yeah, yeah, it takes a while on this track. The point two looked like a really clean lap. Just saying. Um,
Yeah, we'll give it another try with the setup we had before we made the changes with ARP and
with the arc. Yeah, okay, before the arc.
wheel rate, and then
Take the one that
we can
feels
see what's the best. And if the ARP thing is the best, we can take that lap.
particularly for this track. Between, I mean, you always need to go for the one that feels better. But here, I think a tenth in lap time is purely because of because of taking a line slightly off or something. Uh, it seems to always happen in like braking zones where the car maybe locks up a little bit, the front saturates a bit too much. So
Like with a
Basically,
correct line, you can easily gain a tenth in the chicane.
exactly. It's so sensitive to the line you take. So I would suggest just and not even the line based on setup. It's just like maybe an inch off the line. So I mean, the point is like with the setup you're using now, which is the older version before the arm change. If this feels good, even if it's maybe a few hundred slower, I think we should take this. So
Yeah.
just see which one feels good.
Nah, that setup is way better. So ARP change and wheel rate change isn't worth it.
Just that last corner looks so tight. Everywhere else definitely looks better.
That uphill right corner, it's a bit worse, but on every other corner it's better.
In what way?
Like the oversteer is a bit worse. And it doesn't make sense really, but it is like that.
Exactly, yeah. I don't get it either. Yeah. Maybe just the way. I don't know. Could be some bump on the track. I need to look into it. But yeah, but if this one is overall better, I think we should go with this. It looks easier to drive for sure. Uh, just a couple of instances of understeer. That's all I can really observe from it.
Oop, that's too much again. Yeah, it's definitely the softer ARB is better.
Yeah. But if you're happy with that setup, we can save it. And then if you want to do the lap a little later, would also be fine. Uh, looking at the way it's balanced right now.
I will give it one or two more tries, then let's see.
Okay.
So let's give it one more try. And then let's see. Yeah, I think the setup is in a great position, I would say. It's good to drive, it's fast, can hit the lob, it's easy for the chicane.
Okay.
So I would probably just leave it like that and do the lob later.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah. It looks all right. Yeah. Think the race setup. I mean, the race setup is consistent also, and you said the quali feels consistent, which is what is important, especially when you're going multiple times and doing a fast lap in a quali session.
Yeah, it's in a perfect state. Maybe you can get some tenths out of it, but it will get worse to drive, and
Yeah,
don't know if that's the way to go.
yeah. As long as it's planted in most of these corners, it's what's really important. That's the unique thing about Watkins Glen. Every corner feels completely different. Yeah, cool. So that was interesting. That setup session. What do you say, Jakob?
Yeah, it was very interesting. I thought the Mclaren would be a bit quicker around here comparing to some other cars like the Porsche, but it is what it is, and I'm pretty happy with the time I got out of the car.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely looks competitive, but more so in a race scenario is what I would say as well. But yeah, on that note, thank you everybody for joining in and watching this broadcast session. This premiere on the setup of the McLaren, the 720S at Watkins Glen, the first of uh, potentially more streams for the American DLC. But on that note, thank you so much for joining. We hope you found this insightful and you are as excited to drive the cars on these new tracks as all of us are. On that note, take care, stay safe, and we'll catch up with you all next time.